Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and Happy New Year to everyone. During the declared emergency in the City of Toronto, Committee of Adjustment virtual public hearings are being conducted by electronic means through WebEx, an online digital platform, and streamed on the Toronto City Planning YouTube channel. These measures are necessary to comply with physical distancing requirements and in-person attendance limitations. This will be a virtual public hearing, and participants who have registered in advance will be able to make their presentations to the committee using WebEx, an online event that is being moderated by city staff. Anyone wishing to view the hearing may do so by watching it on YouTube. Participants who have registered in advance will be connecting either by their computer, a phone or tablet app, or by telephone. All participants are automatically muted on entry. When your item is called, each participant will be unmuted by the moderator, one person at a time. Only the committee members will be participating by video. Any registered participants will be participating by audio only. We ask that you also mute your devices until you are called on to speak. For all those who are waiting online, please ensure that you have called in with the phone number that you originally registered with. If you call in with a different number, you will not be able to speak on the item. To ensure audio clarity, I suggest that you do not use the speakerphone function on your telephones. We acknowledge that the land we are meeting on is the traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples, and is now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis peoples. We also acknowledge that Toronto was covered by Treaty 13 with the Mississaugas of the Credit. In accordance with Sections 45 and 53 of the Planning Act 1990 as amended, this meeting of the Committee of Adjustment of the City of Toronto is called to order. My name is Alan Smithies, and I will chair today's meeting. Joining us on the panel today are Nadini Sankar Peralta, Ron Hunt, Asif Khan, and Paul Kitty. City staff are also present: Daniel Antonacci, Jenny Kotas, and Brendan Clapp. The Committee of Adjustment considers applications for variances from the provisions of the zoning bylaw that apply to property, permission to extend or alter lawful non-conforming uses, and consent to sever property to create new lots. Anyone attending today who wants to receive a copy of the committee's decision must submit a written request for a decision by email. Please ensure that you include your name, address, and email address, because Committee of Adjustment and the TLAB will be sending notifications and appeal updates by email. If you do not agree with the committee's decision, it may be appealed to the Toronto Local Appeal Body, TLAB, or in some limited circumstances to the Local Planning Appeal Tribunal, LPAT. Appeal instructions are set out at the bottom of the committee's decision. The hearing procedure is as follows. I will call each item on the order listed on the agenda. Where an application is uncontested, the agent or applicant will proceed with their presentation if desired. If the committee does not require a presentation, applicants are to advise the chair should they wish to speak on the item. The committee may ask questions and or take the matter into the committee for a decision. Each speaker, including the applicant or agent, is given a maximum of 5 minutes to address the committee. I will comment when you are reaching the 5-minute limit. When addressing the committee, please state clearly your name and address. Please remember to confine your remarks to the matters described in the application. The applicant or agent proceeds first and will make their presentation to the committee. Please note that the committee may not entertain revisions to proposals at the hearing today. To ensure that a revised application is accurate and that all those entitled to notice of the application are informed of the changes, the committee may decide to defer the application if it has been substantially revised. Then, individuals either in support or opposed to the application are invited to speak. Committee members may ask questions of each speaker after they have finished their presentation. When all speakers are finished, the applicant or agent has an opportunity to rebut only those issues that were raised by the previous speakers. This marks the end of discussion on the item. The applicant is then taken into the committee for a decision. Mr. Secretary Treasurer, I believe we have minutes to adopt. I think it was it October?
What date of October?
7th. We have minutes of our October 7th meeting to adopt. If I could have a motion to adopt those minutes, please.
Mr. Chair, I have, before adoption, I have to amend
Okay.
item number 30 because I did not second this item and I notified Joanna about it. Has it been rectified?
And Mr. Khan, I'm having trouble hearing you. I need a motion to adopt the minutes of the 7th of October.
Sir, that is what I'm saying. October 7th, item number 30.
Okay, item number,
Item number 30, which is 116 Del Park. I did not second this item. I opposed it. And for the correction, I had notified Joanna about it. Has it been done?
okay, thank you, Mr. Khan. We can make that motion to amend those minutes as requested.
Thank you, sir. Then I will move that the minutes be adopted as amended and circulated.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Khan. Can I have someone to second that motion? Ms. Sankar seconds. All those in favor? That motion carries. Thank you. Are there any committee members here this morning who have any conflicts of interest they'd like to declare? Mr. Kidd?
Mr. Chair, item number 7, 32 CEDARBANK Crescent. I'm acquainted with the agent.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Kidd. No other conflicts, thank you. Mr. Secretary of Treasurer, do we have any files to close? Okay, thank you. Thank you. We'll proceed to our first item on our agenda. That is item number 1, 280 Sandringham Drive. I have one person registered to speak. That is Jared Steckel. The agent, are you there, sir?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, sir.
Great. I love this new technology.
Okay, thank you. We can hear you clearly, sir.
Great.
It's pretty clear what you're asking for in the two variances we have before us. I'll just ask the committee if it has any questions or would like a presentation. Okay, there being none. Sir, I just wanted to ask, we have no staff comments or conditions on your application. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Nope.
Okay.
You've got all the documentation and all the signed petitions and all the goods, all the documentation. So I have nothing else to add.
Yes, we have everything before us. Thank you, sir. I'll just ask the committee, could I get a motion on this application, please? Mr. Hunt? Mr. Hunt?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, thank you. I would move approval of this application as I believe it is very straightforward and it meets the 4 tests.
Thank you, Mr. Hunt. Someone to second that motion? Ms. Sankar seconds. All those in favor? That motion carries unanimously. Sir, your application has been unanimously approved without condition.
Fantastic. Does that mean I get to go about the rest of my day?
You can, sir. You're all done. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, everyone, and stay safe.
Thank you. Item number 2, 212 McNichol Avenue. I have 2 people registered to speak, the agent and an area resident. I have the agent, Mr. Faisal Ahmed. I hope I've pronounced that correctly. Sir, are you there? Mr. Ahmed, are you there?
It does not appear that they're present at this time, Mr. Chair.
Okay, I'll move on to the next item. Item number 3, 86 RAVENUENBURY Road. I have one person registered to speak. That is Shamira Davidov. I hope I've said that correctly. Are you there?
Yes.
Madam, we're having trouble hearing you. You have more than one audio device on at the same time. Can you just speak into one audio device, please?
Yes, I'm trying.
Madam, we're still getting feedback. You can only speak into one item. Do you have a television on or computer speakers?
Hello?
Okay, we can hear you now.
Hello?
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 Yes, we can hear you.
Yes. Oh, I hear you now. Yes, sorry for that.
Okay, no, that's
So
fine.
I'm here.
Madam, we have your application before us. It's pretty clear what you're asking for. It's the one variance for side yard setback. I note that we have, there are no staff conditions or comments on file with this application. I'll just ask the committee if it would like a presentation or it has any questions. Okay, thank you. Madam, is there anything you'd like to add to the material that we have here before us?
No, everything is clear to me. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Could I get a motion on this application, please? Ms. Sankar?
Yes, through you, Mr. Chair. I think this is minor in nature and it does meet the 4 tests. I'll put forward a motion to approve this application.
Thank you. Someone to second that motion? Mr. Khan seconds. All those in favor? Motion carries unanimously. Madam, your application's been unanimously approved. Thank you very much, without condition.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thank you. We'll go back to item number 2, 212 McNichol Avenue. I'm looking for the agent, Mr. Faisal Ahmed. Are you there, sir? Mr. Ahmed, are you there? Oh, we'll move on. Item number 4, 27 Country Lane. I have 2 people registered to speak. I have the agent, Jim Pfeffer. Are you there, sir?
I am. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, sir. Now, Mr. Pfeffer, can you hear me?
I can, yes.
Okay, thank you, sir. I just wanted to ask before we start, there has been if you've had the opportunity to read the city planning report of the 18th of January, staff was recommending that you make a modification to the application, specifically variance number 5 regarding the east second-story platform, which they want reduced from, they're recommending it be reduced from 23.6 square meters to 14.6 square meters. Have you had the opportunity to read that report, sir?
I have read that report and we will accept that reduction in variance 5 to reduce that number to 14.6 square meters. And in addition, we'd also like to completely eliminate variance number 6 for the 28.9 square meter platform, which was in the center of the house.
Do this one at a time. So the first one you want to reduce, sir, is variance
correct, to 14.6 square meters in
okay.
Yeah, following the staff report.
Okay, variance number 5, you're reducing the proposed area of the east platform at or above the second story from 23.6 square meters to how much?
To 14.6 square meters.
Okay, and there's another variance you'd like to amend or delete?
Yeah, that's variance number 6, which was for a deck at or above the second story, and that deck was going to be 28.9 square meters, and we'd like to completely eliminate variance number 6, please.
Okay, thank you. Are there any other modifications you'd like to make to those variances?
No, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Since we have one other person here waiting to speak on the item, sir, if you'd like to give the committee a brief presentation on what you see as the merits of your proposal.
Yeah, I mean, this is a neighborhood of kind of wide, deep, substantial lots and pretty substantial homes. So we've actually prepared a book for the committee, and if you maybe want to bring that up, we can take a look at first page number 1. Can our presentation book be brought up?
Which one was that, sir?
It was the book that we submitted that we said in our email we'd be referring to in the course of our presentation. It's a 5-page book that was submitted as evidence to the committee. And I specifically said I'd be referring to it should I be asked to make a presentation.
Is that your site plan or your, which one, the elevation, which plan?
It's the site plan. It's the site plan. There's a front elevation drawing. There's a computer rendering of the front, and there's a few photos of the context. So it's 5 pages, I believe.
Okay. Ms. Kotas, do we have that? Yeah, just a moment, sir. We'll put it up.
Thank you.
Okay, sir, proceed.
Yeah, so I don't think there's anything very controversial about this proposal. I did give letters to all of the neighbors along the streets. I handed out about 20 letters, and I also handed out a letter to the neighbor to the rear. So there's not very much particularly controversial here. Planning was also in support. One variance we are looking for is a height variance, and I think this front elevation view shows pretty clearly that there's a pretty significant portion of the so-called height of this building, which is actually that upper drainage roof, which you can see very clearly in the rendering in the upper right-hand corner there, actually won't be visible from the street, and it won't contribute to shadow either. So that's kind of a variance with no impact. It's also, in midpoint height measurement, it's a lesser variance than was received immediately next door at 28 Country Lane. And I think as well, that project received a main wall height variance, and we do not need a main wall height variance. That project immediately next door received a 20 square meter balcony variance. We've reduced ours to 14.6 following the staff recommendations. You see the last, second last page of the booklet, page number 4, you'll see that there's a lot of vegetative screening in the rear trees, which are going to completely obscure any kind of overlook from the larger balcony that we're asking for. The smaller balcony we're asking for is actually immediately adjacent to the neighbor's, sort of much larger balcony, and we intend to plant some landscape screening there as well. We are asking for a very small coverage variance, but I think if you take a look at the site plan, which is page 1, you'll see that there's still a lot of open space on this lot, and the very small coverage variance we're asking for, 1.6%, is actually smaller than the variance which was granted at 25 Country Lane, right next door. Again, I was referring to 28, I meant 25 Country Lane, where they got, I think, a 1.9% variance. So we're very far from the neighboring properties. There's still a ton of green space. The height variance is going to be a variance of, I think, no consequence. And the balcony variance, it's a very large lot. It's very well screened from the neighbors. That's not a variance which is going to be hurting anyone. And actually in this last page, you can see some of the houses on this street, which are also large, substantial new homes. I think our house, which you can see the rendering of on the second page, is going to be very much in keeping with the character, or the third page actually is our rendering. It's going to be very much in keeping with the character of homes on this neighborhood. Really generous front yard setback, generous side yard setbacks, a really big rear yard. The whole home we've designed to be very much in keeping with the character of homes in this neighborhood. So thank you. And like I said, no staff objection, and we also sent neighbor letters to all of the neighbors, inviting them to reach us for any sort of clarifications or comments that they might have had, and we haven't heard from anyone.
Okay, sir, thank you. I just wanted to ask one thing. The planning report also indicated if the committee should find merit in the revised application that they were recommending that the proposal be developed substantially in accordance with the height as shown on the front elevation drawing attached to their report. So I just wanted to ask if you're aware of that suggested condition.
Oh yeah, and we're happy to accept that.
Okay, thank you. Does the committee have any questions of the speaker? There being none, thank you. I'll move to our next person on our speakers list. I have Joanne Serafino as the next speaker. Are you there, madam?
Mr. Chair, it appears that Joanne Serafino is not present by name nor by phone number that they provided.
Okay, thank you. We'll take her off the list. Okay, committee members, we have a revised application before us. Item number 5 has been revised so that the proposed area of the east platform at or above the second story, which currently requests 23.6 square meters, has been reduced to 14.6, and variance number 6 has been deleted in entirety. So if I could get a motion on this revised application, please. Ms. Sankar?
Through you, Mr. Chair, I accept the explanations provided by the applicant here today. So I'll put forward a motion to approve this application, and I'll make it subject to the January 18th staff report, where the applicant has made changes, of course, to variance number 5, where it's now reduced to 14.6 meters, and the proposal be substantially developed in accordance with the height shown in the front elevation drawing attached to this report, as well as the elimination of variance number 6 as requested by the applicant. It is subject to forestry, and that's my motion.
Great, thank you very much, Ms. Sankar. Can I have someone second that? Mr. Khan seconds. All those in favor? That motion carries unanimously. Sir, your revised application has been unanimously approved, subject to city planning and urban forestry conditions.
Thank you very much. We'll see you this afternoon.
We'll go back to item number 2. Mr. Ahmed, are you there? Faisal Ahmed, are you there? No, Mr. Ahmed is not there. We'll move on to item number 5, 108 Northdale Road. I have one person registered to speak. That is Shenshu Zhang. Are you there?
Yes. Hi.
Hello, sir. Can you hear us?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, sir. You have 2 variances before us. Pretty clear what you're asking for. I note that there are no staff conditions or comments associated with this particular application. I'll just ask the committee if it has any questions or comments. There being none. Sir, is there anything you'd like to add to the material that the committee has before it today?
No.
Okay, thank you, sir. Could I get a motion on this application, please? Mr. Khan?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. It's a minor variance which comply with the zoning bylaws, so I would move that this should be approved.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Khan. Someone to second that motion? Mr. Kidd seconds. All those in favor? Opposed? Mr. Hunt, are you in favor? Oh, we lost Mr. Hunt. We still have approval from the 3 committee members, excluding Mr. Hunt. Mr. Hunt has dropped out.
Mr. Hunt is there, sir. Mr. Hunt approves. I could see him.
Okay, he's dropped off our screen, but Mr. Hunt's, there you are. So he's in favor. Sir, your application's been unanimously approved without condition, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Item number 6, we have 342 Ridley Boulevard. I have one person registered to speak, and Mr. Tom Sprague.
Mr. Chairman, that's not the correct person. We have a different person presenting. Do you have a name, Brendan? Leslie Alexander. The name is wrong on there.
Oh, so it's not Mr. Sprague?
No.
Okay, 342 Ridley Boulevard. Is the agent there?
Yes, I am. Hello?
Oh, sir. Can I get your name, please, and address?
Yes, so my name is Leslie. The middle name is Alexander, and the last name is Endes, spelled E-N-D-E-S. there was a mix-up. Someone else registered in place. My address is 416 Clinton Street, Toronto, Ontario.
Okay, thank you,
And
sir.
I am here to, yeah, okay.
Thank you, sir. I just wanted to ask if you've had the opportunity to read the city planning report of the 16th of December. They were recommending a modification to variance number 4 for the west side yard setback. They're asking that it be increased from 1.22 meters to 1.5 meters. Have you had the opportunity to read that report, sir?
Yes, yes, I did. And I did speak to planning staff, also spoke to my client. We did present a letter in response to that, which is in the file. I don't know if you've had a chance to read it. We are hoping to stay at the 1 point, sorry?
No, you're proposing to stay at 1.5 meters? Pardon me, at 1.22
No,
meters.
at the 1.2.
Okay, thank you. I think what you best
Correct,
do, sir, is give us a very brief presentation on what you see as the merits of your proposal and why you'd like to keep the that west side yard setback at 1.22 meters.
Yeah, so a brief summary of the letter that I provided is that the current space between the two buildings is 2.5 meters, which is roughly 8 feet. Our building that's currently there and has stood there for many years is only 2 feet from the lot line. So the new building that we're proposing is going to set back an additional 2 feet, which is in metric, we're talking the existing is 0.63 meters, and we're moving it to 1.22. So the combined space between buildings now will increase by that much. And we're suggesting to the committee that even if the neighbor, in the event that the neighbor ever had a similar proposal and wanted to come closer to the lot line to the 1.22 as well, that the resultant space between the two buildings would then equate to what's there now. And our argument is that that rhythm has existed for decades. There is a lot of example in the community of houses much closer together. The lots are difficult to design for when you're looking at 2-car garages, which again is typical for this neighborhood, to try to house these two-car garages within the body of the building and to make them look elegant. And so essentially it's a balance of space between interior space planning requirements and exterior breathing room requirements, if you will, between properties. The city staff also mentioned that, they wanted more space for maintenance of the backyard. We believe that, 4 feet at 1.22 meters is plenty to move equipment to backyards, wheelbarrows and such, and that's not an issue. So we respectfully request that we can keep that as stated. And I can add something further to this for the committee. Our neighbor to the west at number 130 Bombay did supply a letter of support for the project. And so we were pleased with that. We did have an 11th hour conversation last night about their concerns. They had sort of misread the impact that our gable end would have on their property, which is a design feature only. It's not really a spatial feature. And that's recommendation number 2 by the city, that we build according to the 2 elevations. That would be attachment 1. And I'm just kind of moving forward here. If there's any questions, please don't hesitate to interrupt me. But that end gable that you see, which is just a partial gable on attachment 1, west facing elevation, we've had discussions, very, very late discussions with the neighbor, and have agreed that we would fold that down to provide a continuous roof line, which is sloped. and that will allow more sort of light and a sense of space into his yard. He's pleased with that, and we said that we would make that as a concession for today. But he's also aware that we were looking for that 1.22, and he's still very much in support of that. So with all those reasons, and a slight concession there, we're hoping that you will approve it.
Okay, thank you, sir. I just wanted to be clear. The east side yard setback that currently exists for the existing building at 342 is around 0.663, 0.64. So you're actually nearly doubling the setback from what currently exists. Am I correct?
That is correct.
Okay, thank you. Does the committee have any questions of the speaker? Mr. Kidd?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Item number 3, the permitted height of the exterior wall seems large. Can you just give us your justification for that variance?
Yes. Okay. Thank you. So if you've got the drawings in front of you, what we're really asking for is the instances of the gables that do go up. So the technical, that's what registers as the side wall height. Our eaves are much lower at, I believe, 6. Let's just see here. 6.55 meters. Our eaves are at 6.55 meters, which is below the height. And it's only these architectural features of these individual bays that go up with a face that create the variance request. We feel that the building's in keeping with, again, the type of development in the neighborhood. It's on fire. I mean, this whole neighborhood, there's many new houses being built, and they're all of the same character, somewhat classical design for the most part, and we feel that it's very much in character. So I hope that's a good enough answer for you.
Thank you.
Any further questions of the speaker? Or could I get a motion on this application, please? Mr. Khan?
Mr.
Oh, do you have a question?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yes, sir, I have a question. Mr. Angus, I'm drawing your attention to variance number 4.
Okay.
So you're sticking to your 1.22 meter. And
Yes.
suggestion from the staff is 1.5, which is quite reasonable. It is from 4 feet to 5 feet. You will have more maneuverability and access to your backyard, accepting 1.5 rather than sticking to 1.22.
That is true. I mean, for us, we are a corner lot, so we have an entire street face onto the backyard that we can access for any maintenance. So it's not an issue.
So you're not taking the suggestion from the staff, the 1.5.
Well, my reason for that, sir, is that if one looks at the plan for the main floor, we've got a 2-car garage accessed off of Ridley, and the depth of the garage requirements for minimum parking spot, then leading into a mudroom or a sort of laundry mudroom access into the house from the garage, and then the next interior room is a dining room. When we do the math on all of that, we're really splitting hairs in terms of how to position this building on the lot. We didn't want to pull it too much closer to Ridley because that's also a variance that we're requesting, and we did talk to city staff about that as well. That's variance number 1. We're a bit closer to the street than they'd like us to be, but they're okay with that because it's a large lot, and we do have quite a big front easement, city easement, and there's good visibility around the corner. There's a tree on the corner, which they're quite pleased about on our property as well as on the boulevard. So we worked very hard to position this building effectively on the lot to answer all these issues and concerns. And we believe we've struck a good balance. And we're really talking about just under a foot, and we're hoping you can see it to approve it as is.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Any further questions of the speaker? Being none, could I get a motion on this application? Mr. Kidd?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I think I am persuaded by the argument put forward by the agent with respect to the variance number 4. I'd like to put forward a motion to accept the application subject to the conditions set out in the staff report that the proposal be developed substantially in accordance with the west and east elevation drawings submitted to the Committee of Adjustment and attached as attachment 1 and 2.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Kidd. Someone to second that? Ms. Sankar seconds. All those in favor? That motion carries unanimously. Sir, your application has been unanimously approved, subject to a city planning condition that the proposal be developed substantially in accordance with the west and east elevation drawings submitted to the committee and attached as attachment 1 and 2 to this report. Thank you very much, sir.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a great day.
Thank you. Now, I'm going to go back to item number 2. Mr. Ahmed, are you there?
Mr. Chair, they're still not present. May I suggest perhaps we hold this down until the end of the session?
I'll hold it down. Thank you, Mr.
Okay.
Clapp.
Yep.
We're now on item number 7, 32 CEDARBANK Crescent. Mr. Kidd, you have a conflict. Thank you. Item number 7, 32 CEDARBANK Crescent. I have one person registered to speak, Mr. Peter Higgins. Mr. Higgins, are you there?
I am, sir.
Okay, Mr. Higgins, thank you. I just wanted to ask before we start, there's an 18th of December report from City Planning which recommends the following variances be modified. The first one's reducing variance number 4 regarding the lot coverage from 33.05% to below 30%, and increasing variance number 6 from 0.9 meters to greater than 1.2 meters. Would you like to make those changes?
I'd like to make the changes with modifications, if I may.
Yes, would you like to describe those modifications now before we proceed?
Yes, the coverage, we are reducing to 31.2%.
Just a moment, sir. Which variance is that?
I'm sorry. Regarding variance number 4,
okay.
Lot coverage, we are reducing the lot coverage to 31.15%.
To 31.15%. Hang on just a moment. That's variance number 4. The current
Correct.
ask is for 33.05%.
Correct. So we've reduced it. And I would be speaking to this through the course of going through all of the variances, but yes, we've reduced that. And in terms of point number 2, which is referring to variance number 6, north side yard setback, we've been dealing with a planner for some time and can say to you that we've reduced that to 1.22 meters.
Okay, so you're increasing.
Or increase the side yard setback, reduce the variance. Correct, 1.22.
Okay. I'll just ask that, the committee, we have no other persons registered to speak. I'll just ask the committee if it has any questions or comments. There being none, sir, is there anything else you'd like to add? You've indicated you're making modifications to the application. Is there anything else you'd like to add to the material that the committee has before it today?
I'd like to make a very brief presentation, if I might.
If you could, sir.
Okay, very quickly. Number 1, regarding the platform, which is a deck off the rear of the house, We are allowed to project 2.5 meters. We are projecting 3.66 meters. This is entirely due to the slope of the lot. There is a more than 2.5 meter, almost 3 meter slope to the back of the property, such that the basement is a walkout. But in order to have an access to the backyard, we are proposing a deck for a barbecue and a little bit of gathering that is quite long and linear. But due to the angled nature of the lot, it sits in the required setback, which is one of the variances, but also because of its corner position, it sticks out further. Now, that it's not a full 3.66, it's measured on an angle. So if this house had been built on a normal property, we would have a deck or a terrace here. We would not have a balcony platform. So that's number one, the reasons for that. Number two, the roof eaves. The encroachment only happens at the rear part of the lot. I can say that there is no encroachment on to the 0.3 meters required, so you should rest surely there. And that the proposed eaves, although they encroach 1.46 meters versus 0.9, is only because of the rear roof. Number three, required front yard setback of 6.815, proposed is 5.91. We have a pie-shaped lot. We've decided to be parallel with the northerly lot line, and as such, the house kind of kicks around, and that's why we have a jogged south facade. We have a small area of the garage that sticks out, and if you were to pull up the drawings, you would see that it's a small sliver of the house towards the front. Number four, maximum lot coverage. We've talked about that. We've reduced it to 31.15. I should note that 40 Broadleaf, which is just in behind the property, received a variance of 31.9 in 2015. Not that we're comparing, but we've done our best to adhere to the planning department's comments. We've reduced it substantially from 33.05 to 31.15. Number five, the platform without walls. Again, that is the balcony off the back due to the topography. It's only a 0.5 meter variance, and again, it's measured on an angle, so the diagonal is greater than it otherwise would be with a straight measurement. Number six, the required setback is 1.8 meters, proposed is 0.9. We've reduced that or reduced the variance, increased the setback to 1.22, which the committee should note that is exactly the same as the existing house on the property. And number seven, required setback is 1.8. We have proposed side yard of 1.31. That again is due to the nature of the lot, the pie-shaped lot. The committee should know that the inside corners along the same wall increased from 1.31 meters to, in two cases, 2.74 and 3.65 meters. So those are to the inside corners. So we also have no objection from either of the immediate neighbors, and we also have 5 letters of support from both the rear neighbor and 2 neighbors across the street, among others.
Okay, thank you, sir.
That's my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. Does the committee have any questions of the speaker? Mr. Khan?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Higgins, I will draw your attention to variance number 4 again. Sir, staff has asked for the modification to 30% and you are increasing from 30, you are not accepting that. You are giving your own version of 31.5. Sir, do you remember that you are only allowed 25%? That's the maximum you are allowed the time the lot. And now you are exceeding 1.5 more than the staff has suggested. Why is that? I mean, you're not justifying that one.
Well,
you cannot go more than 25% times the lot. And 31% is a little bit more.
Hello, Mr. Khan. Yes, I'm aware of that situation. One of the things I would like to say is we do listen to the planning department. We do work with them. And I think this reduction in the coverage as well as the increase in the side yard setback is clearly evidence of that. I should let you know that in reading all of the information, including the Residents Association, who were concerned about the garden concept, we have the same side yard setback as the existing house. We have a variance to the other side yard setback, but I've just explained to you that we have almost 10 feet or 3.65, more than 10 feet in one area.
Mr.
Mr. Khan, I'm just going to finish.
Let him finish his answer.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Also, you should know that the front yard has a landscape area of 72.9% versus a 50% required. And they have a soft landscape area of 1.13% versus 75%. So what I'm saying to you is we have a house, though it is in excess of the coverage, which is not uncommon. And I mentioned to you the house on 40 Broadleaf at 31.9%. Occasionally, extra coverage is given. And in this case, I would say it's mostly due to not only it's a pie-shaped lot, but it's also a lot that has an angled back property. So not only the sides, but the back. So we don't have any height variances for the roof. We have a sidewall height that is a meter less than the allowable. So if you were to look at the drawings that we proposed, together with the lack of objection from any of the neighbors, we think that the 31.15 is a reasonable saw off. I know, of course, it's higher than the 25%. Staff has asked for 30 or lower, and we're as close as we can get to it, and we have cut back the house to try to make this happen.
Okay, thank you, sir. Any further questions of the speaker? Being none, could I, just to be clear here, there have been modifications made to this application. Variance number 4, the original request was for a proposed lot coverage of 33.05%. That has been reduced to 31.15%. And variance number 6, the original request was for a north side yard setback of 0.9 meters. That has been increased to 1.22 meters. So if I could get a motion on this revised application, please. Ms. Sankar?
Yes, through you, Mr. Chair. You know, in hearing what the Ratepayer Association and the staff report does say around the 30% lot coverage, I still feel that the explanations provided by the architect here today sits well with me. I feel very understanding of that, and I think the explanations were you know, excellently provided. So with that reason, I'm going to motion to approve this application with the amendments that you've listed here today, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Ms. Sankar. Someone to second Ms. Sankar's motion. Mr. Hunt seconds. All those in favor? Opposed? Mr. Khan dissenting. Sir, your revised application has been approved. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. See you this afternoon.
Thank you. Item number 8, 39 Cheston Road. I have one person registered to speak. Mr. Ali Shakiri, are you there, sir?
Yes, sir. Good morning. Ali Shakiri, 326 Shepherd Avenue East.
Yes, thank you, sir. Can I get, yeah, you gave us your name and address. Thank you. You have, I think what you're asking for in your application is very clear to the committee. I note that there are no staff comments or conditions registered on file with this application. I'll just ask the committee, does it have any questions or would it like a presentation? No, I'll just ask, sir, is there anything you'd like to present to the committee that the committee doesn't already have before it on the file we have before us today?
No, sir. Everything that I wish to present is already filed online. But if there is any question, I'd be more than glad to answer.
Okay, thank you, sir. Since there's no one else registered to speak on this application, so if I could get a motion on this application, please, Mr. Hunt.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I believe that the application before us is straightforward. It meets, in my view, the 4 tests. So I will make a motion to approve.
Someone to second Mr. Hunt's motion? Ms. Sankar seconds. All those in favor? That motion carries unanimously. Sir, your application's been unanimously approved without condition. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I thank you. Item number 9, 167 Hounslow Avenue. I have, let's get here, I have one person registered to speak, Saeed Uskoy. I'm sure I haven't pronounced that correctly. Are you there?
Yes, you pronounced it very well. Good morning, everybody.
Okay, thank you, sir. I just wanted to ask, have you had the opportunity to, there's 2 reports on this, one from City Planning and one from Transportation Services. One's dated the 16th of December from Planning, and one from the Transportation Services dated the 19th of January 2021. Both of those reports, sir, are recommending that your application be refused. So what I'm going to suggest, sir, you can make a presentation. If you want to go forward, you can make a presentation to the committee. But in view of those recommendations, you may want to consider deferring your application so you can discuss it with those 2 departments. Would you like to do that? Or would you like to proceed?
No, I think it's a very straightforward application, and I don't know why. First of all, I didn't receive any of those reports that you mentioned.
Sir, would you like the committee to deal with your application today?
Yes, please.
Okay. So you're aware of the risk because you have 2 reports from staff recommending refusal. Okay, what I'll do is, if you could give us a brief presentation on what you see are the merits of your proposal.
Yeah, you know, my family, we have 2 cars like every other family, and we have a single driveway. It's put really stress on our family, and we cannot function, especially in winter time. My wife works in the hospital, you know, with this COVID times, hours, it's just, it's very, very difficult for us to function as a family. And I added some pictures in the neighborhood. It's just, if you walk like 100 meters east or west, every other house has the same thing as a parking on the front. It's one of the attachment to the application that I sent. It's very straightforward. I would really appreciate if a committee consider it.
Okay, sir. Well, what I wanted to ask is, can I ask, what you're essentially trying to do here is to legalize that existing driveway widening. Is that correct?
That's correct, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
So can you tell the committee, how long has this driveway existed like this? I get the impression it's been there for quite some time, exactly like this.
Yes, that's correct. That's correct.
So how many years do you think it's been there in this exact condition?
Before I bought the house, it was there.
Okay,
I just want to make it legal. Before 2011, yeah, it's more than 10, 15, 10, at least 10 years.
Oh, yeah, so it's been there, from what I can see, is for quite some time.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And as you were saying, this type of driveway widening isn't unusual on this section of Hounslow Avenue. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah, these are pictures. Basically every other house you can see. It's just they widen driveway so they can park more than one car.
Okay.
So, thank you.
Yeah. So what essentially you're doing is trying to legalize an existing driveway widening that's been there for, from what we can tell, many years.
That's correct.
Okay, thank you. Does the committee have any questions of the speaker? There being none, could I get a motion on this application, please, Ms. Sankar?
Yes, through you, Mr. Chair. You know, looking at what the staff report said and transportation as well, I would have had real concerns coming into this application. However, given the fact that this is already based on something that's existing, and given the fact that there are so many properties with that similarity within the neighborhood that have likely been approved, I'm not sure if it's previously or has been existing from time, I'm willing to accept that. And for this reason, I'm going to motion to approve this application.
Thank you, Ms. Sankar. Someone to second that? Mr. Khan seconds. All those in favor? That motion carries unanimously. Sir, your application's been unanimously approved without condition. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Have a nice day.
Thank you. Item number 10, 453 Merton Street. I have two people registered to speak. The first person is a Robbie Robinson, the agent. Are you there, sir? Mr. Robinson, are you there?
Mr. Chair, they appear to be present. However, their microphone is not unmuting.
Okay. I'll just ask one more time. Mr. Robinson, are you there? Okay, we'll have to put this one on hold. We'll come back to it. We'll go to item number 11, 42 Langborn Place. I have three people registered to speak. The agent is a Jennifer Scholes. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Are you there?
Yes, I am.
Yes, ma'am. Can I get your full name and address, please?
Jennifer Scholes, and my address is 68 Wimbledon Road.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to ask, madam, I note that there's a couple of reports here from city staff. There's one from Transportation Services dated the 19th of January. They have no objections to your application. There's also one from City Planning dated the 18th of January. They appear to have no objections, but they recommend that your proposal be developed substantially in accordance with the front yard setback shown on the site plan drawing attached to their report. Have you had the opportunity to read those two reports, madam?
Yes, and the application that you're looking at is actually the same site. It contains the same site plan as the one in their report.
Okay, if you'd
We've
like
already had.
Okay,
I've already had basically a discussion with the planner, and the latest drawings reflect what she requested.
Okay, thank you. Now, we have two other persons registered to speak on your application, so if you could give the committee a brief presentation on what you see are the merits of your proposal.
Okay. The purpose of our application is to alter the existing two-story semi-detached dwelling by adding a one-story front and side addition and a two-story rear addition, including interior alterations. The intention of the work proposed is to provide a more functional front entry with storage and a powder room at the front. The purpose of the rear addition is to increase living space for a growing family by creating a family room at the ground floor and adding a principal bedroom and ensuite at the second floor. The original submission was more ambitious and involved a front and side addition that was deeper and wider than what is currently proposed. The planner assigned to the file was concerned about the elimination of the parking space behind the front wall of the house and the depth of the front yard setback. The proposal was modified in response to the planner's comments, and a planning report has been included in the file supporting the revised application. Parking space width. The side portion of the addition was reduced to allow for a 2.6 meter wide parking space while still allowing for a closet in the entry. Transportation is supportive of this variance, as can be reviewed in their letter, which is included in the file. Front yard setback. The front projection was reduced from the originally proposed 3.048 meters, which is 10 feet, to 2.4 meters, which is 8 feet. This is approximately half of the depth of the projection of adjacent houses on the street. The front yard setbacks on the street are varied. The original submission also had a coverage variance that was of no concern to planning, but the reduction in area of the front and side addition eliminated this variance. We have received 5 letters of support for the original submission. The adjacent neighbor is supportive as well. And I hope that this serves to clarify and that you agree that we meet the 4 tests.
Okay, thank you, madam. Does the committee have any questions of the speaker? There being none, we'll move to the next person on our list. I have Gabriel Binchik. Are you there?
Yes, I am.
Can I get your full name and address, please, sir?
Yes, it's Gabriel Binchik, 30 Langborn Place.
Okay, thank you, sir. If you'd like to give us your views on this application?
Yes, thank you. I'm joining this meeting to provide my support for this development. This house is, as well as desire to provide extra room for their dwelling, especially because of the fact that the neighborhood has significantly changed in character. A lot of the houses in the area are small bungalows, and a very great many of them have been torn down, and very, very large houses have been put in their place. So considering that these houses are still mostly in their original condition, the opportunity for this resident to be able to develop their residence and it would still maintain the character of the neighborhood as it is changing.
Okay, thank you, sir. It's good to hear that level of support for your neighbor. Any questions of the speaker? There being none, thank you, sir. We'll move on to our next person on our list. I have any Eva Mekas. Are you there? Ms. Mekas, are you there?
Yes.
Ma'am, can I get your full name and address, please?
Eva Mekish, 34 Langborn.
Your full name and address, ma'am.
Eva Mekish, 34 Langborn Place.
Okay, thank you. If you could give us your views on this application?
I also live in the same neighborhood, and I also fully support the application.
Oh, that's good.
Thank
Thank you,
very
madam.
much. Nothing
Good to hear
further.
that. I'll just ask, any questions of the speaker? There being none, could I get a
No.
motion on this application,
No.
please? Could I get a motion?
Ron Hunt. Ron Hunt
Mr. Kidd?
will.
Mr. Kidd?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Given the neighborhood support and my view that these variances are minor in nature, I'd like to put forward a motion to accept the application, subject to the conditions set out in staff report dated January 18th, that the proposal be developed substantially in accordance with the front yard setback as shown on the site plan attached to the report.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Kidd. Someone to second that motion? Mr. Hunt seconds. All those in favor? The motion carries unanimously. Madam, your application's been unanimously approved, subject to city planning conditions.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. We're now on I'm going to go back to item number 10, 453 Merton Street. Mr. Robbie Robinson, are you there? Mr. Robinson, are you there? Mr. Robinson, are you there? Last time.
Mr. Chair, they are present. However, it would appear that they're not paying attention to the WebEx
Okay, I'm
window.
going to move it to the end of this morning's agenda. Okay, item number 12, 95 Stuart Avenue. I have one person registered to speak. That is Mr. Mark Marino. Mr. Marino, are you there?
I am, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, Mr. Marino, I just wanted to ask, there is one report here from Transportation Services dated the 19th of January, and they're recommending that your application be refused. And I just wanted to ask, it's, I guess, dealing with the driveway width, I just wanted to ask, would you like to In view of that comment, would you like to defer the application so you can consult with transportation, or would you like the committee to hear the application today?
We would like to move forward, Mr. Chairman, with the hearing today.
Okay, thank you, sir. If you could
to
then,
ex-
I would suggest that you give us a presentation on what you see as the merits of your proposal.
Yes. Mr. Chairman, I did send in a marked up sketch of the existing conditions on site, along with some pictures of a wood retaining wall that is badly needing replacement. And that's the reason why the property owner would like to pursue renovating the existing driveway. In doing so, Mr. Chairman, the driveway at the bottom of the driveway, close to the garage, is 6.07 meters wide. As you come up towards the sidewalk, the driveway or the existing retaining wall or driveway goes down to about 5.66 meters. And then at the driveway closest to the street, it widens back out to 6.04 meters. So the property owner would just like to keep in line the driveway so it matches at the bottom and at the top. Again, I have submitted an existing sketch of the existing retaining walls. So we're not asking to make the driveway wider. We're just asking the committee to consider the driveway being similar to the width at the bottom of the driveway and at the top of the driveway. A difference of 0.41 meters. Also, Mr. Chairman, it's my understanding that the city has included the retaining wall, both retaining walls on each side of the driveway in their width of the driveway. We do have four signatures of support from neighbors. It's my understanding there's no objection from neighbors. And in my opinion, the proposed variants are minor in nature and meet the 4 planning tests. I'd be pleased to answer any of your questions.
Mr. Marina, can I just ask, you're not asking to change the dimensions of the driveway, that the driveway is staying exactly the same width as it has been from what I can tell. It's been these dimensions for quite some time. Am I correct?
Correct, Mr. Chairman.
So you're not changing the dimensions of the drive, you're just legalizing it.
You can say we're legalizing it. Again, there is a small portion of the driveway that in the middle of the driveway where the retaining wall juts out, and we just want to make it all consistent so so there's no jog out. And that's what we're proposing. So the driveway's existing. It's been there for umpteen years, and we're just asking. Yeah, we're just asking to legalize the existing driveway.
Yeah, but the type of driveway that this property would exhibit, it's not unusual for this area. Am I correct?
Absolutely not.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, you are, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you. Is there any, does the committee have any questions of the speaker?
Yes.
Mr. Khan?
Thank you, sir. Sir, my question is, how high is the retaining wall?
The existing retaining wall at the bottom of the driveway at the highest point is approximately about 4 feet 6 inches roughly.
So it's quite high.
It's a substantial, yes, it is a substantial height.
So you want
at the bottom of the driveway. As you go up the driveway, the retaining wall gets less high.
Okay, sir, I will try very simply. The entrance of your driveway is the same as the curb cut, is it?
Yes, yes, correct.
And okay, thank you. I can see now the photo and the retaining wall and how it is curving. So you want to straighten out the curve, and that point will be how high that will be.
It's going to match the same height that's currently there. So there's no change in the height.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Any
you.
further questions of the speaker? There being none, can I get a motion on this application, please? Ms. Sankar?
Yes, through you, Mr. Chair, given the nature of this type of renovation, the explanations provided by the speaker here today, the fact that this is very common within the neighborhood, and that there is, evidence of something that's already existing, I'll motion to approve this application, and it's subject to forestry.
Okay, thank you very much. Someone to second Ms. Sankar's motion? Mr. Kidd seconds. All those in favor? That motion carries unanimously, sir. Your application's been unanimously approved, subject to urban forestry conditions, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll just take a break for 5 minutes. We'll come back. I wonder what the stat is for how many quarterbacks Brendan, can we start? Yeah, yeah, so. Yeah, that's what I thought you were going to say. Ladies and gentlemen, committee's back in session. We are dealing with item number 13, 349 Brooke Avenue. I have one person registered to speak, and Alexander Markovich. Are you there?
Good morning, sir.
Yes, hello, sir. Can I get your full name and address, please?
Alexander Markovich, 1 Valleywoods Road, Unit 99, North York, Toronto.
Okay, thank you, sir. I just wanted to, I note here that the only comments we have from staff are a recommended condition from urban forestry. Other than that, there are no other comments from staff. I think what you're asking for is pretty clear to the committee. I'll just ask the committee if it has any questions or comments or if it would like a presentation. Mr. Khan?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would ask the applicant to explain variance number 3, 4, and 5, please.
Okay, sir. Mr. Khan would ask you to, he'd like some clarification or your justification for variances number 3, 4, and 5, please.
Elements of items 3, 4, and 5, it's basically decorative parts of architectural design. That means it's any kind of structure, living parts, or anything it's included there. That means if any reason, for any reason, if it's necessary, we can remove that part. It's only decorative parts, architectural decorative features.
Okay, thank you, sir. Any further questions of the speaker? Okay, there being none, I'm just going to ask, sir, we have all the material before us that's you've submitted, and it's, is there anything you'd like to add?
No, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Could I get a motion on this application, please? Ms. Sankar?
Yes, through you, Mr. Chair, I accept the explanations provided today by the applicant. As such, I believe it meets the 4 tests, and I'll motion to approve this application subject to forestry.
Thank you. Someone to second Ms. Sankar's motion? Mr. Kidd seconds. All those in favor? That motion carries unanimously. Sir, your application's been unanimously approved, subject to urban forestry conditions.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Item number 14, 10 Newbury Lane. I have one person registered to speak. That's the agent. Are you there? Ty Ryuk, are you there?
Yes, sir. It's Tay Rook. I'm here.
Yeah, can I get your full name and address, please?
Sure. My name is Tay Rook. I'm the planner for the owners of the property at 10 Newbury Lane.
Okay, so I just wanted to ask, we have a report from city planning dated December the 16th. There's also a report from Transportation Services, which was dated 18th of January. They have no objection. And there's also recommended condition from urban forestry. There's a planning report dated the 16th of December. which indicates that the applicant has indicated that you want to make revisions to variance number 2, variance number 7, and variance number 6. But they're also asking.
Sir, so
I'm sorry.
yes, sir. So I have seen the report from planning staff. We did have multiple discussions with the planner on the file. And we are eliminating variance number 2, which is the landscaping variance, the front yard landscaping area variance. And number 7.
Sir, before you start, can you just tell the committee which changes you're proposing to make?
Sure. The variances that we're eliminating and the changes are variance number 2, which is the front yard landscaping variance, and variance number 7, which is the proposed driveway width. Those 2 variances are being eliminated. Variances number 2 and 7.
Yeah, so variance number 2 and variance number 7 are being deleted. Okay.
Correct. And no other changes, sir.
Now, the staff report was also recommending that you modify variance number 6 for the lot coverage from 41.63 to 35%. And they were also recommending that the committee refuse variance number 5 for the building length. Now, I just wanted to ask, if the committee was to follow planning's recommendation on variance number 5 and 6, would this effectively send your application back to the drawing board?
It would, and I could get into the details of why these variances are being triggered. They are somewhat technical in nature. So specifically related to the building, they're actually tied together.
Okay, sir, what I suggest you do is you make a presentation to the committee. You've already indicated the changes you'd like to, modifications that you'd like to make, and then focus on those 2 items from planning that would have a significant impact on your proposal.
Sure. So, sir, what's before you in front of you is an area context map, and what's been highlighted in green are those coverages that are above 30% in area. There are coverages as high as 41%, 41.5% in the area. And those are reflected because of the similar nature in terms of the application that's before you today. It's also mentioned in the planning staff report. What you have here, and if you go to the 4th slide, the side elevation. The next one, please. So if you go to the side or rear elevations, and I've highlighted an area that's in yellow, what that is the basement of the proposal actually extends further beyond the rear wall of the subject house. And what that causes, because there's this wall that's highlighted in yellow underneath the deck, that triggers a length variance and also a coverage variance. If you were to, this is somewhat of a technical variance, because if we didn't have that area that's enclosed underneath the deck, and we could have just enclosed it with cladding, that would also trigger the same variance with regards to length and coverage. The house in principle itself is 16.9 meters, sorry, pardon me, is 16.2 meters in length. So the rear wall, the dwelling from the front wall to the rear, if you look on the site plan, is 16.2 meters. It's the deck, because of this the yellow area at the back, which is the basement that projects beyond the rear wall, that triggers the length variance. So it's not a 1-story element. It's not a 2-story element that extends beyond the rear wall. And that also creates this coverage variance at 41%. If you were to not include that area, and the house itself is 34% in terms of 34.26% in terms of lot coverage, well within the realm of what's been accepted and what's approved in the area. However, all that may be said, notwithstanding that, this planning staff report has identified other properties in the area with high coverage variances. And the reason why those were approved is a similar situation as what we have here today. It's because of this basement that extends beyond the rear wall, and it's being and it encloses the deck underneath. So like I said, if this deck was enclosed underneath with cladding, it would still trigger the same variance. And it's not it's not a massing structure in terms of height, in terms of a 1-story or 2-story element. The principal house itself maintains is underneath the rear wall, underneath the length requirements. And also the principal house itself, the 2-story house itself is 34.26%. There are other variances related to the building with regards to the front floor steps and also towards the building height of the variance. So what that is the front steps is because it's measured from the center line of the road, which is the dashed red line. And if it's measured at physical grade, it's actually only 1.2 meters. So from physical grade, actual grade, it's less than the bylaw requirement. And also with regards to the building height, there is a variance under the old bylaw, under the North York bylaw, which requires this variance, and it's at 9.58 meters from the center line of the road. And once again, the center line of the road is about 0.45 of a meter lower than the actual grade, and that triggers this variance. And if you were to measure it from physical grade, the actual height is 8.96 meters itself. And you'll also note that the new bylaw, or the current bylaw 569/2013, doesn't require a height variance for this, overall height variance for this application. There are variances related to main wall heights. And if you go to the side elevations, you'll see that there is a red dashed line that shows the 7.5 meter mark. And what the additional requirement for the height is, because of the eavesdrops that's located, that projects above the main line of the roof for the windows. And it's a small portion of this green highlighted area that's shown on the side elevation. And once again, the overall height, there is no variance related to the overall height under the City of Toronto bylaw.
Sir, can you summarize, please?
Sure. In terms of the variances themselves, the issue of contention with regards to the lot coverage and lot building length is a result of a technical aspect of this proposal that does not create any impacts with the adjacent properties. And you'll also note that there are letters of support from the immediate neighbors on all of the sides.
Thank you. I just wanted to ask, sir, you've
Sure.
also submitted documentation from the neighboring properties on either side of number 10 Newbury Lane, and neither one of them has an objection to your proposal. Is
Yes,
that
sir.
correct?
Correct. So there's letters of support from, so either side's at number 8 and number 12, also number 14, 15, 11, and 9 Newbury Lane. So the three houses directly across the street, and those have been identified on the area context map with blue
Okay,
dots.
thank you. Thank you. Does the committee have any questions of the speaker? There being none, could I get a motion on this revised application, please? Please note that variance number 2 relating to the front yard landscaping, that has been eliminated, has been deleted. And variance number 7, which relates to the proposed driveway width, that variance has been deleted as well. So if I could get a motion on this revised application, please. Mr. Hunt?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have listened to the explanation from the applicant, and I understand the technical aspects of why there is the need for variances. So having said that, I will recommend approval of this application subject to the removal of variance number 2, the removal of variance number 7, and subject to urban forestry memo of January 19th, and would note that transportation has no objections.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Hunt. Someone to second that motion? Mr. Kidd seconds. All those in favor? That motion carries unanimously. Sir, your revised application's been unanimously approved, subject to urban forestry conditions.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Item number 15, 1973 to 1975 Avenue Road. I have 2 people registered to speak. One is a Chris Marchese. He is the agent. Are you there, sir?
Yes, I'm here, Sir Chair. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, sir. I just, before you start, we have a report from January 19th from Transportation Services recommending deferral so that you can submit some parking study, I guess, to justify the parking supply issue. And I also have a letter from the South Armor Heights Ratepayers Association indicating that you would be requesting a deferral. Is that correct?
Yeah, through you, Mr. Chair. We've been in consultation with transportation staff trying to determine the best way to provide justification based on the parking deficiency for the subject site. Through this, we have determined together that a deferral would be the best route to allow us to look at different options, whether it be a donor site or a parking utilization study to help justify the parking deficiency on the property. So at this time, I am requesting deferral of this application to deal with those matters.
Okay. Terrific. Thank you, sir. I'll just ask the committee. Does the committee have any questions of the speaker? Mr. Khan?
Sir, I'm waiting for motion.
Just a second, Mr. Khan. We have one other person registered to speak. Sheila Dunlap Harrison. Are you there? Ms. Harrison?
I am here.
Ms. Harrison?
Yes, I'm here.
Yes. Can we get your full name and address, please?
Sheila Harrison Dunlop.
Ms. Harrison, it's very hard to hear you.
Sheila Harrison Dunlop, 118 Bellbrook Avenue.
Okay, Madam, the applicant is requesting a deferral in order to submit a parking justification study and some further discussions with Transportation Services. Do you have an objection to the deferral?
No, we would support the deferral request.
Okay, thank you, madam. Any questions of the speaker? There being none, Mr. Khan, you wanted to make a motion on the deferral?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yes, I would appreciate to defer this application signed die as has been requested and agreed upon by the applicant.
Okay, thank you. Someone to second that motion? Ms. Sankar seconds. All those in favor? That motion carries unanimously. Sir, your application has been deferred to the next available meeting so that you can meet with Transportation Services to discuss your parking supply issues.
Thank you, Sir Chair and fellow committee members. Have yourself a great day.
Item number 16, 14 Tadcaster Place. I have one person registered to speak, a Shenshu Zhang. Are you there?
Yes, sir.
Madam, can I get your full name and address, please?
Yeah, my full name is Shenju Zhang, architect, 98 Scarsdale, North York.
Thank you, sir. I just wanted to ask, I have two reports here, one from Transportation Services dated the 19th of January. They indicate that they have no objection, provided that the applicant revises the portion of the driveway in the public right-of-way so that it's at a 90-degree angle to the street. And there's a report from the 18th of January from City Planning. They appear to have no objection, provided that the proposal is developed substantially in accordance with the west side yard setback as shown on the site plan drawing attached to their report.
We discussed
There's also a condition from Urban Forestry. Have you had the opportunity to review those reports, sir?
Yes, I reviewed all the three reports, and then we discussed with the city planner about the setback. We tried our best to provide as much as possible the setback.
Okay,
because
thank you,
that is
sir.
an addition.
It's pretty clear what you're asking for in the 4 variances that we have before us. I'll just ask the committee if it has any questions or it would like a presentation.
No, I
No,
just
sir,
like to
just a
say
moment.
we were.
Sir, just a moment. No questions from the committee. Is there anything that you'd like to add that isn't already in the material we have before us, sir?
No, but we will modify the driveway a little bit to make the 90 degrees to the street. Actually, that is an existing building. We were existing driveway. We will do that when we surfing it.
Okay, thank you, sir. Can I get a There is no other persons registered to speak on this application. If I could get a motion on the application, please. Mr. Khan?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I think it's a very straightforward application, and staff has recommended the approval with conditions that the proposal be developed substantially in accordance with the west side setback as shown on the site plan drawings attached to this report. And also there are forestry conditions. And there is a note from the transportation services which I would like to add. Revise the portion of the driveway in the public right of way to have a 90-degree angle to the street, which is a letter of 19 January 2021.
Okay, thank you
With
very
that,
much,
I will move
Mr.
it
Khan.
to
Someone to
approve
second
condition.
it? Someone to second that motion? Mr. Hunt seconds. All those in favor? That motion carries unanimously. Sir, your application's been unanimously approved, subject to transportation services, city planning, and urban forestry conditions.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Item number 17, 314 Saint Germain Avenue. I have one person registered to speak. That's Franco Romano. Mr. Romano, are you there?
Yes, sir, I'm here.
Yes, I'm Mr. Romano. I just wanted to ask, if you've had the opportunity to read the report from City Planning dated the 4th of January, they were requesting a modification to variance number 2 for the proposed roof eave setback from the west lot line from 0.07 meters to 0.15 meters. Have you had the opportunity to read that report, sir?
Yes, sir. We fully expected that report because we had discussed with planning and made the revision in advance of that report being made. So I will be modifying variance number 2 to ask for a 0.15 meter west side yard setback for the eaves.
Okay, so let me just, currently it's, the variance reads, the proposed eaves are 0.07 meters from the west side lot line, and you want to take it to 0.15. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Pretty clear what you're asking for in the variances, sir. I'll just ask the committee if it has any questions or comments. There being none, sir, is there anything you'd like to add to the anything you'd like to add to the committee that you haven't, that we don't have in the material before us now?
Just to briefly explain that the side wall height variance is only for the east side, and that is where the 1.22 meter side yard setback is being provided, which is larger than the zoning requires. Still maintains the right of way, and that side wall height is measured to the top of the roof of the 2 dormer windows on those side elevations only. Otherwise, the windows are at 8.19 meters, and the rest of the eaves is at 7.5 meters. So it's a very, very small portion of the side wall that the variance is being asked for, and the numbers are a little different. Just like the zoning examiner identified the overall height at 8 centimeters taller than what the architectural drawings show it as a complying height.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Romano. Is there, does the committee have any questions of the speaker? There being none, could I get a motion on this application, please? Ms. Sankar?
Yes, through you, Mr. Chair. I do believe that it's minor in nature, and I accept the changes made here by the applicant today. So I'll motion to approve this application. It will be subject to the changes that the applicant made here today, such that variance number 2 is going to be increased to 0.15 meters. And there's no forestry condition, so that will be my motion.
Thank you, Ms. Sankar. Someone to second Ms. Sankar's motion? Mr. Khan seconds. All those in favor? That motion carries unanimously. Sir, your application's been unanimously approved without conditions. Your revised application has been unanimously approved without condition.
Terrific. Thank you kindly. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you, sir. Item number 18, 403 Hopewell Avenue. I have one person registered to speak. That's Andrew Trotter. Are you there, sir?
Yes, I'm here. Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Trotter, I just wanted to ask, we have a report from City Planning dated the 4th of January recommending that you modify variance number 1 for the proposed deck east side yard setback from 0.24 meters to 0.45 meters. Have you had the opportunity to read that report, and would you like to make that modification?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, I actually sent a revised site plan showing that in the supporting material, showing that that will be reduced to 0.45 meters.
Okay,
So
terrific. Thank you, sir.
is-
I'll just ask the committee if it has any questions or comments, or if it would like a presentation. Mr. Khan?
Thank you, sir. I was just reading the application and I would like to know, I mean, he has said rear addition. Addition to what?
The rear addition to the house. I'm not following, sorry.
I'm sorry, we
Hello?
can't hear you. Hang on a second. Mr. Khan, can you just repeat your question, please?
Sir, in the application, the purpose I was reading, and in the purpose it was saying rear addition. So I was a little bit in the light mood to say and ask, addition to what? I mean, he has to mention house or garage or front yard or side yard. He didn't say the purpose was clear. So now he says house, so I understand what he's applying for. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, sir, if you would like to reply to that.
I think it's clear, and now he understands that we're doing a rear addition to the house.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, it's just
Yeah.
a rear addition. Thank you. Any further questions of the speaker? Sir, is there anything you'd like to add to the material that the committee has before it today?
Not really, other than, no, I don't think there's really anything to mention unless there's any questions.
Okay, thank you. Could I get a motion on this revised application, please? Please note that variance number 1 has been revised so that the proposed east deck side yard setback, which currently reads 0.24 meters, is being increased to 0.45 meters. Can I get a motion on that revised application? Mr. Kidd?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I feel the proposal as amended, I think the variances are minor and feel that they meet the 4 tests of the Planning Act for minor variance. As amended, variance number 1 to read proposed east deck side yard setback to be revised from 0.24 meters to read 0.45 meters.
Thank you, Mr. Kidd. Someone to second that motion? Ms. Sankar seconds. All those in favor? The motion carries unanimously. Sir, your revised application has been unanimously approved without condition. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Have a nice
Thank you.
day. Thanks.
We'll go back to item number 2, which is 212 McNichol Avenue. We've held this one down because the agent was not present. I'll just ask again. Mr. Faisal Ahmed, are you there?
Yeah, for 212 McNichol.
Oh, I'm sorry, madam. Can I get your full name and address, please?
President, just one.
Madam, we're having trouble hearing you.
Um.
Can I get your
Hello?
full name and address, please?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, it's 212 McNichol, Faisal Ahmed.
Madam, I need your full name and address, please.
Yeah, he's coming. He's coming.
Madam, I need your full name and address, please.
Mr. Chair, I think she's going to get the applicant.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm calling the applicant.
Ladies and gentlemen, your indulgence, please.
Is it Faisal Ahmad?
Yes, hello?
Is it Faisal Ahmad?
Yes. Can I get your name and address,
Yeah.
please?
Yeah, he's coming.
Hello?
Yes, I'm here.
Yes, can I get your name and address, please?
Yes, my is Faisal Ahmed.
Okay, thank you,
Five.
sir.
Yeah.
Sir, if you could, we have the one variance before us relating to a rear yard setback, and I
Yes.
have one person registered to speak. I have
Yes.
I'm sure you know that there are no conditions or comments from city staff on this application. So if you could give us a
Yes.
brief presentation on what you see as the merits of your request for the proposed rear yard setback.
We are just proposing only 2 feet more than the required setback, just to make a house a little bit bigger. Just only 2 feet. We're encroaching in the setback only 2 feet. That's our request for the variance. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Does the committee have any questions of the speaker? I have one other person registered to speak on this application, a Mew Hung Cam. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Madam, can I get your full name and address, please?
My name is Mew Hong Cam, 10 Merton Avenue.
Could you say that again, madam? We're having trouble hearing you. Your voice is breaking up. Please speak
My
clearly
name-
into the telephone.
Oh. Hi, my name is Mew Hong Cam. My address is 10 Merton Avenue.
Okay, madam, we're still having
Is it
trouble
okay?
hearing you. Your voice is breaking up. You have to speak into this, turn off your speakerphone and speak as you would into a normal telephone.
Yes. Do I need to?
Okay. Madam, do you have any other audio devices turned on that is creating an echo? You can only
Yeah.
use one at a time.
Yeah, it is
Okay,
better
that's
now.
better. Okay, can I
Okay.
get your full name and address, please?
My name is Mew Hong Cam. My address is 210 Merton Avenue.
Okay, thank you, madam. If you could give us your views on this application, please?
I was just on the right hand side of 212 Merton. And I just wondering what is the purpose they have to enlarge the house. The house area now is 2,400 square feet, and they're going to enlarge it. They will be turned into 3,600 square feet. This is, I think it's like a one family house. If they need a big house, why don't they go to buy a new house? And the owner, they bought the house in year 2015. They never lived there. It's always be a rooming house and an Airbnb. I don't want them to have a legal walkout basement. That means they can rent it out legally. Because the tenant is always bringing us a lot of trouble. So that is why I against the project.
Okay, madam, that's not something that's within the committee's purview. You understand that the only variance that they're going for is related to the rear yard setback. So do you have a comment on that requested variance?
If they extended walkout basement, it will very close to my fence.
Okay, thank you. Does the committee have any questions of the speaker? Could I get a motion on this application, please? Mr. Kidd?
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Kidd, my mistake. I didn't give the applicant the opportunity to address the concern raised by the previous speaker. I'm sorry, we'll go back to the agent. I'm sorry,
No
would
problem.
you like to respond to the comments that were just made by the previous speaker?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Yeah, with due respect with the comment of the previous speaker, actually, she has no concern about the setback that we had about the only one variance. So I think, I don't know, I mean, she has no concern about the setback. That is my comment.
All right, thank you. Any questions of the speaker? There being none,
Can you hear me?
on this application, please? Mr. Khan?
Sir, I have a question, not a motion to move.
Okay. Okay, I'm sorry, Mr. Khan, you're making a motion to approve the application?
No, sir, I'm not making the motion. I have a question if you allow.
Okay, I'm sorry. Can you ask your question, please?
Thank you, sir. Mr. Ahmed, I have noticed two things. Although you are applying for the rear yard setback, but you are not showing, your east elevation was incomplete and didn't show how the entrance to the basement is. And also your access to the basement wasn't clear to me. And details are not necessarily there, which I wanted you to give you this setback allowance.
Okay, sir, did you get that question?
Details were incomplete.
Okay, it means detail. You mean how we are going inside the basement?
Yes.
Yeah, we are going inside the basement from rear yard, dig out basement steps. If you see the drawings, drawing number A3.1, A3.2.
This is incomplete. You are not showing in the side elevation at all.
It's shown in the rear elevation because on the side elevation we won't see those steps because it's in the ground. That's why you didn't show on the side elevation. But on the rear elevation we show the dotted, and also we showed in the section.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any further questions of the speaker? Can I get a motion, please? I believe, Mr. Kidd, you were going to make a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I appreciate the concerns of the neighbor. However, the applied for variance is, I feel, of a minor nature. I'd like to put forward a motion to accept the application without condition.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Kidd. Someone to second that motion? Mr. Hunt seconds. All those in favor? Opposed? Mr. Khan dissenting. Sir, your application has been approved without condition. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. We'll go to item number 10. That was held as well. That's 453 Merton Street.
Oh, this guy.
Is Mr. Robinson there? Mr. Robinson, are you there? Mr. Robinson, are you there?
Hello?
Yes,
I'm
Mr.
here.
Robinson?
No, my name's Andrew Bell. I'm speaking on behalf of Mr. Robinson.
Okay, can I get your full name
We're
and
having
address,
technical-
please?
My name's Andrew Bell, 44 Saddleback Square.
Okay, thank you,
Brampton.
sir. We have...
Mr. Chair, if I may interject quickly, the deputant with respect to this application is not present.
Okay, thank you. So it's just the agent. Okay, sir, what I want to, I just wanted to ask... Can I get your full name, sir? Can I get your full name and address again, please?
My name is Andrew Bell, 44 Saddleback Square, Brampton, Ontario.
Okay, thank you. We have, I note there are no others, other than a comment from Urban Forestry, we have no other comments from city staff on this application. I think it's pretty clear what you're asking for. I'll just ask the committee if it has any questions or comments, or if it would like a presentation. There being none, okay, thank you, sir. I just wanted to ask, is there anything that you'd like to add that isn't in the material that's currently before the committee?
Yes.
Okay, what would you like to add? Sir, is there anything you'd like to add?
Just one second. I'm speaking with Robbie on the phone because he's having technical difficulties. So I'm just going to relay his information. Regarding the urban forestry comment,
What? I'm sorry, sir.
yeah,
What would you like to add?
the request from urban forestry for a street tree is unconscionable because during the previous committee
Sir,
of adjustment
that's a
application,
condition from urban forestry. We can't, if we impose that condition, it's up to, it'll be up to urban you'll have to deal with urban forestry on that. Is there anything else you'd like to add with respect to the variances that you're requesting?
the urban forestry is under the impression there's a required street tree. There's a tree on either side of this property.
Okay, sir, that's an issue. If the committee approves your application, that's an issue you'll deal with urban forestry. The committee can't deal with it. So
We
do you
tried
have
to deal
anything
with them
you'd like
on it.
to add with respect to the variances the committee has before us? One more time.
No.
Okay, thank you. Can I get a motion from the committee? I just asked, does the committee have any questions on this application? Can I get a motion, please? Or Mr. Khan, did you have a question?
No, sir, I'm ready for motion.
Okay, if you'd like to make a motion.
Yes, sir, I think it's a straightforward application with minor variances, and I would like to approve with conditions from the forestry.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Khan. Someone to second that? Ms. Sankar seconds. All those in favor? That motion carries unanimously. Sir, your application has been unanimously approved subject to urban forestry conditions. Thank you. Ladies and
Thank you.
gentlemen, we're adjourned till 1:30.